All right. Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Bethlehem Zoning Board. My name is Peter Schneck, and I'll be serving as your chairman this evening. Serving tonight are Sharon Wiles-Young, Danielle Joseph, and myself. Our zoning officer tonight is Mr. Dave Taylor. Our solicitor tonight is Attorney Steve Boel, and our stenographer tonight is Moira Evans. This time we have a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to announce that an executive session was held by the zoning hearing board for the purpose of discussing pending litigation.
All right. At this time, if there's any members of the audience for any of the cases who might have testimony, questions, and or comments for any of the cases, if you want to stand and be sworn in by Moira Evans.
You want to announce the two that were moved?
Oh, yeah. Which two were moved?
Yeah, I mean, the board would like to note for the general public's benefit that item number 1729 Mount Airy Avenue has been withdrawn. That matter will not be heard tonight. The application has been withdrawn, which means that they're not proceeding before the zoning hearing board.
Is it going to be rescheduled again?
It's been withdrawn, which means that there's no pending application. So no, it's currently not going to be rescheduled. Well, I would reach out to the city and talk to them with any questions about it. They have the option to reapply. There's other things. You can talk to the city about that. But the application that was going to be heard by the board has been withdrawn.
Okay, so, but if it gets we will get sent a letter again letting us know.
If they need zoning relief, it'll be, if it does not require zoning relief, I don't know if they intend to move forward. Yeah.
There was a plan in front of the planning commission that did not require zoning relief. So
what does that mean then?
Yeah, what I would say is that, so the zoning hearing board only hears matters if they need deviation or changes under the zoning ordinance. They've withdrawn the application seeking those variances. They may proceed with a different plan for the same use, or they may be proceeding. The board can't answer questions about that because candidly, we don't know anything. That's why I'm encouraging you, if you have questions about what happened, please reach out to the city staff.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Oh, and then also, and it looks like everyone's leaving, item number 4, which is 241 8th Avenue, has been postponed until the August 21st, 2025 meeting. So that matter will also not be heard.
You're just here for 9.
All good.
Okay.
Enjoy your night. Okay, the time's yours. All right, now we can call the first one.
All right. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, I interrupted you.
Where are we at? Oh, people being sworn in. Anybody providing testimony, questions, and or comments? You can stand now.
Raise your right hands, please. You do swear or affirm that the testimony which you shall give in the matter now before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You do so swear or affirm?
All right. The first appeal tonight is 10/16 West Gep Street.
excuse me, 10-16 West Gep Street. Applicant Gep Street Enterprises LLC seeks a special exception to permit the conversion of a non-conforming commercial storage use to a non-conforming crafts or artisan studio (parentheses photography use), and a variance for reduced off-street parking spaces, 5 required, 2 proposed, for a non-residential use. Sections 1305.01B, 1319.01A14, and I lost my stick. 1323.07, 1325.06, 1325.07, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
All right. And can you just confirm when the property was posted?
Yes, Jamie, you posted the property. It was longer than 7 days prior to this meeting. Is that correct?
As soon as I got it, I posted it. I don't remember the date.
Can both
I do-
you,
I do have a picture of
can
it.
you bring the microphones a lot closer?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the posting of the property was done more than 7 days prior to tonight's meeting, and Ms. Dieter did it personally.
Correct.
And Attorney Piperata, we're going to mark the application and the associated board materials and public notice as ZHB1.
That's satisfactory. Thank you.
All right. And you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jamie, would you state your name and spell your first name and last name for the record, if you will, please?
Sure. It's Jamie, Jaime, Dieter, Dieter.
And Jamie, by whom are you employed?
I work for Apex Management.
And would you describe for the board members what Apex Management does?
It's a property management company. We are third party. We do leasing, maintenance.
And the leasing that you do, is that both for residential and non-residential properties?
Correct.
And do you do a fair amount of that work in the city of Bethlehem?
Pretty much most of it is
Okay. And how long have you been with Apex Management?
9 years.
Up a little bit.
I think you indicated that you've been with Apex approximately 9 years.
That's correct.
All right, we're here this evening for a property known as 10-16 West Gep Street. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Apex Management has been managing that property for how many years?
About 4 years.
All right. And is it fair to say that that's a mixed-use property, that there are residential and non-residential uses involved in that particular property?
That's correct.
Now, prior to this application, can you explain to the board members, just very briefly, what the nature of the business that was operating out of the first floor that we are here for this evening?
Yes, there was a construction business that was operating out of there. They were storing a lot of their materials for the projects that they were working on in the surrounding areas.
And what I have prepared an exhibit package for this evening, and I'd like to use this tonight if we may, and for the board members as well to go through. And let's look at Exhibit A first. And Exhibit A is an authorization from Mr. Marco Andretti. Now, Mr. Andretti is the owner of Gep Enterprises LLC. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Andretti was unavailable this evening, and he has provided his written authorization for you to be here on his behalf. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you have met with the prospective tenant for this application. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they have provided you with all the detail that you'll be able to provide for the board members this evening during this hearing.
That's correct.
Turn your attention to Exhibit B, and that is the Northampton County Tax Assessment Ownership Identification. And that indicates that Gep Enterprises LLC is the current owner of this property. Is that your understanding?
That's correct.
Now, if we may, let's move on to the photographs that are identified as Exhibit C so the board members can follow through with us in terms of the prior use and the proposed use for this property. The first photograph has essentially in the middle of that picture is a two-story off-white beige building, and it seems to be surrounded on both the left-hand side, which I believe would be the west side, and the right-hand side, which is the east side, attached to two other buildings. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what we are here for this evening is primarily the center building.
Correct.
Although, so the board members understand, the center building and the building to the right, as you're facing the picture, are on the same deed, and say they are essentially treated as the same property.
That's correct.
All right. So let's briefly explain to the board members what currently is occupying the building to the right-hand side of the photograph we're looking at. And that's an older picture, that's fine. But what is the use of that particular property? And by that, I mean the one that's 3 stories, that's to the right-hand side of the 2-story building.
That's residential, and it's just apartments in there.
All right. And then that building is associated with the building that we're here for this evening, which is the 2-story building in the middle of the photograph. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And would you explain to the board members what the makeup is of the 2-story building? It's my understanding that the second floor of that building, the middle building, is essentially an indoor parking area for the tenants that are located to the building that is to the right or to the east. Is that my
That's correct.
understanding? As well as the tenants of that building also having additional parking behind the eastern building as well.
That's correct.
All right. So what is on the first floor of the 2-story building that we are looking at?
So where
Thank
that
you.
car is parked,
Yes.
that is just an office space. And behind that is actually like a storage garage.
So as we look to the left where the blue vehicle is located, there appear to be marked off 2 parking spaces. Is that correct?
That's correct.
To the rear of those parking spaces, there are 2 windows.
Mhm.
Are they the windows to the office that we are proposing for a photography studio this evening?
That's correct.
Right. And explain to the board members what is to the right of that photograph, the right-hand side of that building.
So that's just a carport, and then if you drive in there, there's actually like a commercial garage door.
Right. And that is actually a storage area as well, is it not?
That's correct.
Right. So you are familiar with what the previous use of this area was for this particular building, correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated that it was a contractor's storage garage in addition to the use of the office.
That's correct.
And I'd like for you to explain to the board members what you observed as the use of that particular property when the contractor was using it as a storage facility.
So they would back their vans or their work trucks up to that garage door, and they would unload or reload any materials that they needed.
So the storage area was used for the storage of construction materials, is that correct?
That's correct.
And they access that by backing their trucks across the sidewalk and into that area to the right?
That's correct.
And they would load and unload materials?
That's correct.
And how often did that happen?
They were there several times a day,
Right.
mostly. Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Mostly during business hours. I can't say what they were doing, if they were maybe doing a later project at night, but that's what they were doing there.
And so you're saying that that area was used more than once or twice per day?
Correct.
And that was for the loading and unloading of materials? And was there also some minimal use, I guess, of the office space as well?
Very minimal, but yes.
Okay. And could you identify for the board members, if you can, what type of trucks were we talking about? Were we simply talking about pickup trucks, or were there larger trucks as well?
Vans and pickup trucks.
Construction vans,
Mhm.
that type of material?
Yep.
All right. Was there anything in there other than building materials to the best of your knowledge?
That's all that was in there.
Okay. If we go to the second picture, which I think is identical to the first one, but it was my close-up, but I think David's been kind enough to enlarge that picture so it's similar to our second picture. Again, if we go to the second floor of that where there are windows, that is an indoor parking area, is it not?
That's correct.
Who did all the renovations to this building?
Monocacy Construction was actually
Okay.
the
And they're the ones that did all the stucco and installed all the nice exterior windows and stonework on that building?
that's correct.
Other than the office area and the storage area and the indoor second floor parking, are there any other uses in this particular building?
In that section, no.
Yes, this building. Okay, the two-story structure.
Nope.
Very good. So we've identified that to the right of it, all residential apartments, and we've identified the uses of this two-story structure. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, if we go to photograph number 3, and we're looking at the building that's to the west, that building is attached, is it not, to the GEP Enterprises property?
It is.
And essentially, the building we're here for this evening, there really isn't any way to expand it.
That's
Is that
correct.
correct?
Mhm.
Because the entire property is essentially impervious coverage.
That's correct.
So there's no way to expand it, obviously, to GEP Street. There's no way to expand it to the rear because the parking area exists.
That's correct.
To the left-hand side, as we face the picture, is another building connected to it. And to the east, to the right-hand side, is also another building that is connected to it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And I'll show you the fourth photograph that we have attached to the exhibit package. And that simply shows the apartment building that you were referring to. But the point of this picture is to show that it's attached to this two-story structure. And therefore, there is no area for the applicant to obtain any additional parking on site. Is that correct?
That's correct.
If we go to the fifth photograph, if you just explain to the board members the top and bottom picture, what they depict.
It's just the office space that she wants to use for a photography studio.
If we turn to Exhibit D and fold out the plan, is that the current layout of the proposed office?
That's correct.
To the right-hand side, I think it depicts the 2 parking spaces that we've already identified. It identifies the proposed office space as 1,083 square feet. Is that your understanding?
That's correct.
And to the middle left of the picture, there appears to be restrooms. Is that the case?
There is.
All right. And would you explain to the board members how those in this office space would access those restrooms?
So they'd have to go out into the carport, and then there's another door where you would use a fob, go up about 7 steps, and the bathroom's right there.
All right. And will this applicant occupying this office space have the right and permission to utilize those restroom facilities?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at Exhibit E if we could, which is the relevant section of the zoning ordinance pertaining to the change of one nonconforming use. Now, to the best of your knowledge, this property is located in the RT residential district in the city of Bethlehem. Is that your understanding?
That's correct.
And a use such as the previous contractor's use and the proposed use are not permitted in the RT zoning district, to the best of your understanding.
That's correct.
Right. And therefore, we are before the board this evening seeking a special exception to change the previous or current contractor's non-conforming use to an artisan's studio. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And in particular, that studio is a photography studio.
That's correct.
All right. And I'll allow you to narrate a little bit and explain to the board members what your understanding is as to how this proposed office space is going to be used and by how many people.
So she's looking to use it as a photography studio, which would be an online business. They book an appointment through her website. There would be one, maybe two people there being photographed, and then the photographer. So it would be only by appointment. Hours are 9 to 9, 7 days a week. There could be nobody there for 3 days, and then there could be by appointment spaced out maybe like 3 or 4 that day.
Okay. And so the idea for the applicant is that this area would not be open to the general public as a general office would, or as a business office would be open to the general public during business hours.
That's correct.
There will be making appointments by an online appointment system only.
That's correct.
And the owner will be able to ensure that there is no overlap of those coming when somebody is still in the studio.
That's correct.
And they've agreed that if there has to be a 15-minute or a half-hour difference in timing of those appointments, they would certainly do that.
That's correct.
The idea is, though, that even though the hours are from 9 to 9, it may be multiple hours during a day that the property is not being utilized at all.
That's correct.
And you've indicated that this is a facility by which, if I'm a photographer, I could go online and I can reserve the space for a shoot at this particular location.
That's correct.
All right. And so it's not reserved for one particular photographer.
That's also correct.
All right. Thank you. So under the provisions for the special exception to change one nonconforming use to another, there's a number of provisions that we need to satisfy before the zoning hearing board. And the first one is that the applicant shall show that a nonconforming use cannot reasonably be changed to a permitted use. Now, we've looked at this structure, and the area that is has the opening on the two sides, both the left and the right. Obviously, it would be a significant expense, if not a prohibitive expense, to convert this to additional residential units, would it not?
Extremely expensive.
All right. And in that the building has been renovated already, I'm assuming that if somebody thought that was a good idea, they would have done that and converted it to a residential
That's
use already.
correct.
Is that correct? All right. In addition to that, the applicant shall show that the proposed change will be less objectionable in external effects than the existing nonconforming use with respect to. So let's talk about number one, which is traffic generation and congestion, including truck, passenger car, and pedestrian traffic. Certainly, when this property was being used as a contractor's storage facility, it certainly had much more traffic during the day than what this proposed use may be.
That's absolutely correct.
And that traffic was not just car traffic, but that was also truck traffic and van traffic.
That's right.
And when we get to noise, smoke, dust, and fumes, odors, etc., I'm assuming that a contractor's storage facility with an open air area would be much more impactful on the neighborhood than a small photography studio that's being proposed in the office. Is that your understanding?
That's my understanding.
Right. And certainly the storage aspect will be much less with the photography studio versus the contractor storage.
That's correct.
The appearance will certainly be nicer for the residential neighbors in the area, since the only area that's currently going to be occupied will be the office,
That's correct.
and that this particular occupant will not be using any of the storage area.
That's correct.
There are some general provisions in the zoning ordinance that apply for a special exception as well, and they are located in section 132507. And do you believe that this application is in accordance with the City of Bethlehem Comprehensive Plan and consistent with the spirit, purposes, and intent of the ordinance?
Yes,
And we do really, because it's never been anything other than a non-residential use.
that's correct.
And the non-residential use that is being proposed by this applicant, we believe is much less objectionable than what the previous non-conforming use was.
That's correct.
That this proposal is in the best interest of Bethlehem, the convenience of the community, the public welfare, and be a substantial improvement to the property in the immediate vicinity. Do you believe that the use that's being proposed this evening would be much more beneficial and convenient to the community and public welfare than what the previous use was?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that this application is suitable for this particular property and that the photography studio can be appropriately located in the 1,083 square foot office?
I do.
Do you believe that this application is suitable in terms of effects on street, traffic, and safety with adequate sidewalks and vehicular access?
Yes, I do.
And in fact, the vehicular access will simply be those 2 parking spaces where somebody will simply get out of their cars and be able to access the office immediately without even coming out onto the street or the sidewalk.
That's correct.
Other than the variance for parking that is being requested tonight, do you believe this application is in conformance with all other applicable requirements of the zoning ordinance?
I do.
Do you believe that the proposed use will not substantially change the character of any of the surrounding residential neighborhood?
I do.
It will not, correct?
Well, not, yeah.
And the
sorry.
proposed use shall not create a significant hazard to the public health, safety, such as fire, toxic, or explosive hazards. It will not.
It's not.
All right. By the way, let's talk a little bit about any equipment that will be utilized in this office space. Is it essentially just photography equipment? Is there anything else that was expressed to you that this office would be used for?
Absolutely not.
All right. I'm not a photography expert. I mean, are you aware of any equipment that will make any noise that will emanate to the exterior of this building
Absolutely not.
that would impact or have any effect on the surrounding residential neighbors? Okay. The proposed use will not create a significant hazard to public health, safety. Oh, I think we did that. And the proposed use shall be suitable for the site. Obviously, we don't have any steep slopes, woodlands, wetlands, floodplains, et cetera. So the answer to that is really that it's not applicable, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, in terms of the variance request, the zoning officer indicated that we would be required to have 5 on-site parking spaces for this particular use. Is that your understanding?
That is.
And we are requesting that the board grant a variance to permit this office, this photography studio to move forward with 2 off-street parking spaces. Is that right?
That's correct.
And is that because of the nature in which the appointments will be booked, the methodology that's going to be used that you testified to?
Yes.
Do you believe the 2 spaces will be adequate for the proposed business at that location?
Yes, I do.
And again, the applicant did not create this situation because all of the buildings existed before GEP Enterprises, Inc. purchased this particular building.
That's correct.
And again, you don't believe it's going to have any negative impact on the character of the neighborhood?
No.
Okay. That's all I have for the witness.
All right, at this time, questions from the board?
I do have a question. When you said they will not need storage, does that mean that that storage area would be used for anything else or
No, that would remain vacant.
vacant?
Just ask whatever.
But can a parking spot be added to that side so you're closer to the 5 required?
To that side?
To the right side as you're looking at it?
Well, it could be, but then in the event that you had to be able to use that for something, and whether it's storage or something else, you'd never be able to get access to it. But does anybody, can somebody park there now?
So nobody would be using that. Anybody could park in there. If the photographer needed to use that, there's actually 2 spaces there. So they would be in and then the second car behind it, and you still don't hit the sidewalk.
So is that space for the photography studio?
It would be, since the storage unit would not be used for anything.
Are you saying that the cars will stack in?
So you could actually have 4 parking spaces technically.
But they would have to stack. The two on the right would have to stack. They would not be side by side.
Correct. It would be stacked. So if you had a photographer and maybe an assistant, they would be able to park there while their clients could park in the other 2 spots.
Is there a reason why you didn't identify them as parking spaces, or?
Well, because we didn't, I didn't necessarily know whether or not they would qualify for them from a dimensional standpoint, and also from the standpoint of stacking of parking spaces. But we can certainly, if the board's inclined to enter a condition that that area be used for any additional parking that's needed, there's no objection from the applicant to do that.
And then, Mr. Taylor, how did you arrive at the 5 spots?
I don't specifically recall,
I think it was based on the square footage of 200 per square foot.
but in general business use.
General business, 200 square feet
Okay.
per parking space for general office.
And this photography, is this like digital photography? I feel like photography hold had potential for chemicals and stuff.
I'm going to say it's all going to be digital.
All right. Any other questions?
Next one.
Yeah.
So the addendum attached to the application identifies the use as an auto repair garage.
Yes. Mr. Taylor had corrected me. I filed a revised narrative
Oh, did I miss
You
that?
should-
because
yeah,
he
you should have
corrected
it
me
revised.
that
Oh, that is
although
revised.
that application was filed, it was never, apparently they never drew a permit, Steve, for that use, which I thought would have even been more intense, but apparently they never drew a permit
That,
for
that
it.
must just not made it in my file. That's fine.
And I apologize for
No,
that.
no, it's fine. Just want to be clear.
Make sure you have it.
It's probably in your file in the office. It's fine.
Any questions from members of the audience? All right. Any closing remarks?
No, no closing remarks.
All right. At this time, we'll
Yeah, but
go
I
into
guess-
executive session.
Trying to
off
give
the
you guys
record.
an early night tonight,
All right.
since you had two cancel. Okay, thanks, Jamie. Yeah, because
You're back.
It was never occupied by anybody. And then all of a sudden, because I would be over there.
All right. Go back on the record. This time, can I have a motion from a member of the board?
Sure. I motion to grant the special exception, subject to the condition that the storage area remain open for use by the photography studio for storage and or parking when needed.
And to clarify the motion, it's also to grant the variance as requested for the parking.
Okay. Yes.
Yep. Very good. I screwed you up on that. I'll take it.
Do I
Second.
need to? Okay.
Second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Ms. Joseph,
Yes.
Thank you for your
Carries.
time, members.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, call it the next appeal of 1348 East 6th Street.
1348 East 6th Street. Um, Correct me if I'm saying the name wrong. Applicant Adrian Saw
Yep, correct.
seeks a special exception and variance to permit the continued use of an undocumented second dwelling unit on the third floor of an existing single-family detached dwelling, constituting a conversion. Dimensional variances, tract size 6,000 square feet required, 2,000 square feet existing. Lot area per dwelling unit, 3,000 square feet required, 1,000 square feet proposed. Side yard, 4 feet required, 4 feet and 0 feet existing. Maximum height, 2.5 stories permitted, 3 stories existing. Starting habitable floor area, 3,000 square feet required, 2,422 square feet existing. Also a variance from required off-street parking spaces, 4 required, 0 proposed. Sections 1306.01A4, 1319.01A1, 1322.0306, 1325.06, 1325.07, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
All right. And can you confirm when the property was posted?
Yes, my property was posted April 15th, 2025.
All right. And you can proceed with your testimony.
Okay, my first witness would actually be his mother, but she wasn't sworn. She came in a little bit late. That's okay.
Yeah. So, Attorney Carrera, can you pull the mic? Both of you pull the mics closer.
Sure.
Thank you. And absolutely, if we can swear the additional witness.
Stand and raise your right hand. You do swear or affirm that the testimony which you shall give in the matter now before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You do so swear or affirm? Thank you.
And just before we begin, I did have an oral motion. My client filed the petition pro se, and he asked for the 3 variances and the special exception. I did want to, with your permission, add a variance by estoppel as a fallback argument, because this property is, as a structure as it exists, it is a duplex. But when it was purchased by my client, the COs were all as a single family unit. I'm going to present the testimony for his mother, who was the previous owner. And then subsequently, he purchased it as a single family and then was actually trying to sell the property as a single family when they did the inspection. And that's when zoning flagged it and said we had to come here to get the relief. So our main argument is we do want the variance as my client requested in his petition or special exception. But in the fallback, if for some reason you feel those aren't appropriate, we would like to address at least having the ability to sell it as is, as a single family dwelling, because I believe the city's position was, well, it's a duplex, but you're going to have, if you want to sell this, you can't sell it now as a single family unless you take steps to decommission the house or actually take away that second duplex use. So that's our fallback argument, but our main argument, we would like to be what it is. It is actually a duplex. It was purchased that way. So
for the board's benefit, they're not asking you to make any legal determination about anything. Effectively, they filed an application. The application sought a variance, and the applicant would like the board to allow them to amend the application to include a different legal theory that they'll present evidence about called a variance by estoppel. The board in the past has allowed oral amendments of applications. I would indicate to the board that the advertising here would remain sufficient, but the board would have to approve them amending the application. Is there any objection from the board to their amendment of the application?
You guys good with that?
I'm good with it.
Good, no objection.
So hearing none, the board authorizes the amendment of the application.
We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And with that, I will start the testimony. And I do have additional exhibits just for the special, the variance by estoppel, if you want me to present those.
Is it just the one set, or?
It's just the ones that I marked them as applicants 1 through.
How do you want to do that? Do you want me to?
You-
Here, if the board can do me a favor, we can keep these together generally. But here, you guys should have these right now rather than, I need them at the end.
Okay. Ma'am, can you state your full name for the record?
I'm going to ask one more time. Yeah, the mic.
Oh, the
if you guys
mics,
don't
yeah.
mind, yes.
Dolores Saw.
And where do you currently reside?
Can I have her spell her name for me?
Oh,
please?
go
Oh,
ahead.
sure. Jularie, last name Sawh.
Where do you currently reside?
3958 Washington Street, Bethlehem.
And were you the prior owner of 1348 East 6th Street?
Yes, I was.
When did you purchase the property?
November 30th, 2015.
Okay, and I'm just gonna, and you've seen an applicant exhibit 2, which is a copy of your deed to the
Yes.
property? Okay, and when you purchased that, prior to purchasing it, did you, with the seller at that time, get a certificate of occupancy?
Yes, you did.
Okay, and do you recall what the certificate of occupancy indicated the use of the property was for?
Just a single family.
Okay.
Yep.
And when you purchased the property, how were you purchasing the property?
Like mortgage or
I'm
like,
sorry, I can't hear you.
How were you purchasing the property? Were you intending to purchase a single family?
as a single family, yes, I
Okay.
was.
And you believed it was approved by the city as a
It
single family
was,
dwelling?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you had this, you made sure to get the CO?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you describe when you purchased the home, what did it look like in terms of living arrangements?
Well, it had what it is right now, and like the first floor, the second floor, and then the little upstairs apartment.
Was the apartment though a separate unit?
It was a separate.
Just-
Well, it's on the top, so you have like you could get from around to the back of the property. Yeah,
How do you get into the second unit?
around the back.
Okay, it has
Yeah.
a separate
It
entrance?
has a separate entrance.
You go
yes.
upstairs to get that from the outside?
Yes.
Can you access the second unit from the interior of the first unit?
You could. It has a door on the second level
Okay.
to the back.
And during the time you owned the property, how did you use that second unit?
Just for like storage.
Did you ever market that as a duplex property?
No.
Okay. And does the second unit have its own kitchen and bathroom and toilet?
It does.
And did you do anything to construct that second unit?
No, I didn't.
Did you remodel that second unit?
No.
Okay. Was it purchased that way?
Yes.
Okay. Now you owned the property until approximately when?
September of 23.
Okay. And did you sell that property approximately in 2023 to your son?
I did.
Okay. And prior to selling it, did you contact the city for
Well,
an
they-
inspection?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Come into the ex-
And you're familiar with the deed to the property, transferring the deed, you signed the deed
Yes.
over. And if I said that was applicant exhibit 3, is that your
Yes.
recollection? Okay.
Yes.
And when you sold the property to your son, did you obtain a certificate of occupancy in 2023?
Yes.
Okay. And again, how were you selling it to your son?
Like a gift.
Was it sold as a single family? Or
It
a
was,
duplex?
yes. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yes.
Okay.
I thought you were me.
Okay. At any
Sorry.
time during the proposed sale, did you make any renovations or change the structure of the building?
No, I didn't.
So at all times that you utilized the property, You were using it as a single family.
I
dwelling.
was.
Okay. When you purchased the property back in 2015, did you do an inspection of the property before purchase?
I did.
And
Yeah.
what was the condition of the property
It
when you
was
initially did the inspection back in 2015?
The same as was.
Okay. It had the two separate
It
units?
had the two, yes, separate units.
That's all the questions I have of this witness. I don't know if they.
I guess my main question is, just so everyone's clear, because on the one photo, are there actually 4 floors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
it's-
yes, the basement, the second, the third where the bedrooms is, and then the one on the top.
All right. So
That's the yeah.
and the one on the top is the second. The first 3 floors.
So it's the 3 floors, yeah, that's together, and then the one up there is like the separate with the bathroom and the kitchen and whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
And just to identify that picture, that was a good question. Are those
Yeah.
red steps? Is that
It
how
is,
you-
yes.
Is that how you access the second unit?
Yes. And you see, like, you see the door to the in the middle. Yeah, you could access it from the second level. It has
So
a door.
Is
like
that
you
the
could-
only way to access the 3rd floor from the
from
other-
inside the house?
Yeah.
Yes. And if you want, you have to like go around from the front of the house.
Yeah.
So you have access as well from the front to go around to the back.
So, and when you say interior entrance, that's, I guess it's kind of exterior. So it's like you can't really get. There's no other staircase inside the house.
No, no.
Okay.
So it's just exterior. You just go out.
And so I think you guys mentioned before, in order to make it a single family house, you would have to modify it in its existing condition.
That's correct. We couldn't. The city has come to us and said, "Well, you can't sell it now as a single family because
Mike,
it has."
I'm sorry, you keep leaning back, and it's
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's our understanding that the city said, and I have through my applicant, will introduce the letter that he got from the city, but that they're saying, well, it's a twin, so you can't sell it as a single family unless you take away the twin. That was what the letter that the zoning officer was saying, because we had we were trying to sell it as a single family, and that was my client was not, or at least was flagged as, hey, wait, you can't do that because it's not a single, it's a duplex, so you got to come and get zoning relief.
All right. And so what you're asking us for is a variance to make it, to identify it as basically allow a twin.
Correct. So we have 2 arguments, really. I was just being overcautious for my client. One is it is a twin, so we want to get the zoning relief that we're asking for in the petition special exception. But if you felt that it wasn't appropriate, I at least wanted to have a fallback argument. Well, then at least my client should be able to sell it as a single family as it has been sold in the past years with, any restrictions you deem appropriate. But that was a fallback argument.
Yeah, Attorney Carrera, why don't you walk the board through I don't want to bury the lead to the end. Walk the board through what a variance by estoppel is and what your argument is.
Sure. So should I do it now?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So what our argument is, if you look at the exhibits, when his mother purchased the property, it was owned by Great Bear LLC. They had gotten a certificate of occupancy in 2011, and it was said current use, single family dwelling. When she purchased it in 2015, they again contacted the city, and they again got a certificate of occupancy that said single family dwelling, good to go, plus with whatever inspection repairs needed to be made. So she always used it as that. And then when she sold to my client, again, that was approved with the use being a single family dwelling unit. That's when she sold it to my client in 2023. Now, fast forward, my client's the owner now who will testify. He was going to sell it in 2025 as a single family residence, contacted the city to come out and do the inspection. They said, wait, you can't sell it as a single family dome. It's a duplex. You need to get variance releases because this was never approved as a duplex. You need the variance release, which he's fine with, and that's really what he wants. My concern, and maybe overcautious as his lawyer, I said, well, if you deem that the variances aren't no hardship or we can't prove it, we at least would ask you to address, well, then in that case, we should still be able to mark it as a single family dwelling, not to be used as a as a duplex at the very least, so we could still sell the property without having to go back and make all these renovations, because we didn't do it. Somebody must have done it way back when and never contacted the city, I suppose. But that's what our factual argument. The legal argument is that my client, when he purchased the property, he knew from his mother that she had gotten the certificates of occupancy, and they said, you're permitted to sell, you can purchase this as a single family dwelling. He bought it from her as a single family dwelling. So he relied on the previous CO saying that he could purchase it as a single family dwelling. The offer of proof is that he didn't make any reservations. So therefore the city should be stopped from saying you can't now use it and sell it as a single family dwelling, because there was 2 previous sales that did it by approval of the city with a certificate of occupancy. So it's a reliance type of an argument, and he would be hardship economically to have to reconvert it to a single family.
How are they? Like, are you renting out the top floor?
I'll have
he's gonna
testimony.
say- I wanted to tee
Yeah.
that up because I mean,
Yes.
since
Yeah.
I think there's 2 witnesses.
Me too. She was just my fallback argument first, because I thought it was chronologically appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's the fallback argument.
So as you heard, I mean, the board's going to consider whether to grant the variances, just like you would any other set of variances, and that's in order to, I'm going to use the word perfect, but I mean to approve the duplex use, which is in existence, and they want to have continuing to exist. If you deny that, they just want to make sure that, to the extent that a single-family dwelling would usually not be allowed on this lot, they're saying, hey, the city already previously allowed it as a single-family dwelling, and I'll talk to the board in executive session about what the legal standard is on that. But so just understand, there's 2 considerations here. It's not which one you like better. It's just you're going to hear the variance,
Yeah.
and you're going to weigh the variance, and if the variance isn't successful, then you're going to say,
Don't forget to.
are they allowed to use it as a single family?
Right.
It's unique, and we get it.
Okay. My next and last witness. Adrian, can you state your name for the record?
Yep. My name is Adrian Saw, Adrian Sawh,
And where do you currently reside?
and 3958 Washington Street, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
And are you the owner of 1348 East 6th Street?
Yes.
When did you become the owner?
In September of 2023.
And who did you purchase the property from?
My mother.
And have you been, as your mother being living there since 2015, were you familiar with the property since 2015?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just initially describe for the board what was the condition of the property from 2015 at the time you purchased the property?
It was the same exact condition of when we purchased it in 2015, with 2 units. There's a separate entrance for the unit above. I'd like to reiterate, there's no entrance from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor onto the 4th unit from the interior. It's only exterior, and there's a pathway from the front and the back to access the 4th floor. So it's completely separate.
And are you aware of any renovations or changes to the property to assist or convert the property into a duplex from 2015 through today?
No.
Okay. And can you describe what is in that second unit?
The second unit contains a bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a bedroom.
And at the time you purchased the property from your mother in 2023, was the city contacted, and did you get the normal inspections that were required?
Correct. There was a CO issued from, you said 2015?
2013, 2023.
2023. There was a CO report for 2023.
And did you believe that the use that you had at that time is purchased? How were you purchasing the property?
As a single family residence.
And do you believe that use was approved by the city?
Yes.
Did you rely on the certificates of occupancy from 2023 to purchase the property?
Yes.
What about the certificates of occupancy from 2015? Did you focus on, or did you at least rely on the fact that it was?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe as part of your right to know request, as part of exhibit number 3, you got the previous certificate of occupancy for the board today?
Correct.
Okay. Now let's turn your attention now to, as long as you own the property or your mother's owned the property, has anyone ever rented out that space or utilized it as a livable separate second unit?
No.
Okay. Now, just so the board's aware, so in 2025, what did you attempt to do?
I attempted to sell the property in April of 2025 as a single-family residence, as it was sold to me, and I was blocked due to the fact how it was caught on the CO report that it's a semi-attached dwelling.
And did you submit that as an exhibit today, as Exhibit 5, the applicant 5, to the city for their review to see that?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got that notification, what did you then do? Did you then take steps to come to the zoning hearing board?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you filed for 3 variances. Let's talk a little bit about the variances. And first of all, you did submit with your packet some pictures of the property.
Correct.
Can you just describe the surrounding area in the neighborhood?
Okay, so my property is in the middle of the block. Up the street from my property, there is an apartment building. They also do not have any. It's to the right.
And it's also applicant 6 that you submitted tonight?
Correct. Okay. So that apartment building, they have 0 on-site parking. It's all off-street parking, like my block the other way. Yep. To the left. Sorry. Right there. So there's 6 units there. With approval of the city, they're supposed to have 12 on-site parking. They do not. It's all off-street parking like my residence.
And since you've been familiar with the residence when your mother owned it since 2015, has there ever been any on-site parking?
No.
Can the building itself or the area of the lands provide for on-street parking?
No.
Do you feel that at this point in time the property could not be developed in strict compliance with the zoning parking requirements?
Correct. It cannot be.
Looking at the second variance request, 1306.01A, regarding the square footage, can you tell the board how much square footage this property has?
The lot has 2,000. We're required 6,000, but it's a hardship.
But how do you know it's 2,000? Did you provide the maps to part
Correct.
of your application?
Yep, it was a part of the application.
Okay. And was it like that since 2015?
Yes.
Have you made any additions or improvements to the property since 2015?
No.
Have you done any alterations?
No.
Okay. The location, by the pictures themselves, are you, I don't want to say landlocked, but are you very close to the other houses or almost touching the other houses?
Yes.
Like a row home? Okay. Do you feel there's any way you could comply from converting this to a 2,000 to 6,000 square foot?
No, there's no way I could.
Okay. And you're seeking a variance for that?
Correct.
Moving on to the third variance of 132206, you need 3,000 square foot. And tell us what the zoning officer, tell us what that's for.
So the 3,000 square foot is to have 2 units. And
did you provide, as part of your application, the county maps setting forth the square footage?
Correct, yes.
And how much do you believe you actually have?
I believe I have 2,422 square foot.
Okay. And so that's a difference of how much did you figure out by the math? How much of a difference is that?
578.
Okay. Did you make any alterations to the property to add to the square footage while you were the owner?
No.
Did your mother when she was the owner?
No.
Okay. Do you believe there's any way, based upon the location of the house and in relation to the other houses, that you could ever meet that condition?
No.
Okay. The contours of the land would prevent you from doing that?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if we look at part of the application for special exception factors, if the board were inclined to approve the variances to allow you to have the twin, I just want to ask you a couple questions to see if you agree with me or not in terms of the special exceptions. So let me ask you now, do you think that the house and its location is in conformity with the intent and spirit of that zoning district?
Yes.
What is this zoning district?
It's a RT. It's a residential a high residential, like a, what is it exactly?
If I showed you a copy of the zoning ordinance, would that help to refresh your recollection?
Yeah, it's a residential district. It's a mixed use. There's single family homes as well as apartment buildings within the entire residential RT district.
And is there any reason you would believe that this, if the property remained as is, it would be a problem for the surrounding neighborhood?
No, there would be no issue.
Do you believe that this home benefits the community?
Yes.
Would the community be benefited if it was a duplex?
Yes.
What would you do with it if it were a duplex?
I would either use it as a duplex, convert it on my end too. So get it with all the right permits involved. Get another meter. I would get everything that was on there before my ownership checked and approved, for the intended use, and officially get it converted with the city's knowledge.
And you've said with the houses right next door, what are they?
So the houses next doors are twins as well. They are duplexes.
Okay. So your house is in conformity with that?
Correct.
And you believe that this obviously would not change the surrounding residential neighborhood character?
Correct.
And do you think, in terms of not having the parking, can you describe the area in general? Is there on-street parking?
There is on-street parking. There's no issue with the parking. When we lived there, me and my mother, there was zero issue. Like at night, there would always be parking spaces, like you see in the pictures right there. There's always parking spaces, especially during the nighttime. There's just no issue with parking on that street. Trust me.
And no hazards in the house or anything of that nature that would threaten the health, safety, and welfare as it currently exists?
Nope.
And you're willing to bring anything necessary to bring the property up to proper code to meet a twin or duplex
Correct.
facility? There's no wetlands or floodplains or anything like that that would be that are even applicable to this case?
No.
Is there anything else you'd like to bring to the attention of the zoning hearing boards as to your request for the variances, special exception, or in the alternative, at least to be able to sell it as a single family dwelling based on variance by stop?
No.
That's all I have.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, I just need a little clarification. So there's never a time when any of the other duplex units were rented out at all. You always used, even though you're not living there now, it's a single family dwelling.
Correct. I use it as storage.
Okay.
Do you know if any previous owners use it as?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. So you said that if we permit the duplex, you understand that you'll have to get it inspected that way.
Yep.
And you understand that there's going to be improvements that you will have to make to that unit to make it pass certificate of occupancy.
Yes, I fully understand that.
Are you aware that it may make the other unit not comply with codes?
Into what regard?
I'm not sure. I just want to bring it up to you that there's that possibility. I don't know what the fire separation code is, but if you don't have a fire separation and you have to build one, that means both your units are not compliant.
I understand.
So your preference would be making it a duplex.
Correct.
Anybody else with a question?
I'm good.
I guess any other closing remarks or?
No, I think your solicitor adequately set forth our position. The issue with the allowing it to be sold as a single family is a backup argument. Only if you deem that the variances aren't appropriate, then we at least ask that we be permitted to sell it. But my client's preference is. It is a duplex. However, it got to be that way, we don't know. It's been that way since we purchased the property, but we might as well do what it's designed to do. So that is his preference. We think that obviously the way the contours of the land and everything that you've seen the pictures, that we're really no way we could comply with the variance request. We think and it wasn't something that my client created. He inherited this, and he's actually trying to be a good neighbor and make it good for the community.
I don't know if I need to be sworn. Just as a point of clarification of my background in building inspections, the duplex, it is a completely detached building. It's close to the other one, but it is detached. Hence, it would require only a 1 hour separation. So, I mean, worst case scenario is under building code, he's going to be laminating the ceiling.
But they're going to have to comply with all those requirements. You
Yes.
understand that?
Yes.
Those requirements may or may not be to your benefit.
Yes.
It may be approved, and you may have to do more work for the building than otherwise.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And yeah, it would have effect on both the units, not just the upper one.
I understand.
Okay.
All right.
All right. This time we'll go in executive session, go off the record.
You're back on.
All right, we'll go back on the record. If I can have a motion from a member of the board.
Sure. I motion to grant all variances as requested. The request for a variance by Stoppel is denied as moot.
Second,
I second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Ms. Joseph,
Yes.
carries unanimously.
A written decision will follow.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you.
All right. 7:30. You're my favorite. You're my favorite people.
We did it.
I'll be home before dark.
We had a session beforehand.
I
We had a long
We're
discussion
efficient.
out there.
I think I have to stop at the bar because I'm going to spoil my wife.